We step into the world of big dreams, big moves, and big money. It's the Big Cheese Miami Recruiting and NIL Report with Manny Navarro. After 40 years, the Big Cheese remains dedicated to serving the finest Italian dinners, pizza, pasta, subs, and salads. All of their pasta is imported from Italy and cooked fresh every day. Visit BigCheeseMiami.com. Now, let's find out who's the Big Cheese the Miami Hurricanes are working on with insider Manny Navarro.
All righty, Manny, let's get to it. Let's find out who the Big Cheese is. And don't forget, reach out to our friends at the Big Cheese, 305-662-6855. Take that favorite person you love to the Big Cheese, and then they'll make you their favorite person because they're going to love that food and those garlic rolls. Oh, and that pasta straight from Italy and cooked fresh daily. It's a beautiful thing. BigCheeseMiami.com. There's a big cheese going into the portal. His name is Carson Beck. Now, we got the silliness, and I try to, eliminate the silliness on this show. Oh, he's dating one of the Cavender twins. Well, Haley is going to get drafted. She's not going to be here in Coral Gables next year, ladies and gentlemen. So Carson Beck isn't coming here because one of the Cavender twins is playing, because they're not. They're both seniors, and they're gone here in a couple of months. So they will not be on campus. They will be living probably somewhere else. And Haley might be drafted in the WNBA. So she might be playing somewhere else anyway. So just, let's leave out the silliness. But I've heard, Oregon, Notre Dame, Texas Tech, Ohio State, and Miami all could be in the mix for the man returning from a UCL injury, a.k.a. Tommy John.
Yeah, I think this is one of those stories. Oh, and I wrote this in my piece Wednesday, that the best case scenario for Miami at this point, and you and I have talked about this on the show frequently, is for somebody like Carson Beck or Quinn Ewers to become available, right, and not enter the draft, sort of the way Cam Ward did a year ago, to come save the program. And so I'm going to be quite frank and honest with people about the way stories break and the way things happen. Guys have agents, okay, right? And for the fans who don't know how this works, agents leak stories. Why? Why do they leak stories? Oh, because they want to drive the price up, the bidding war. They want this to be, how do I make more money for my client? And so I think ultimately what happened yesterday is a story was leaked on purpose to try to drive up the bidding war for Carson Beck. And I think the reality here is Georgia didn't want to pay him what he wanted to come back this season. They were ready to move on, especially in light of the fact that he threw 12 interceptions, didn't exactly play great this past season. And so now what you have is a situation where a team like Miami, who is desperate, that's what Miami is, desperate for a quarterback, has to overpay for somebody who is, quite frankly, not as good as Cam Ward. So that's where we are. I think there are other teams that probably are not even interested in Carson Beck that have already moved on. Oregon's a team that has Dante Moore. They're ready to move on with him and make him the quarterback. Ohio State has Julian Sain, who was the number one quarterback in the recruiting cycle from 2 years ago, specifically left Alabama to go to Ohio State. Texas Tech has spent a bunch of money on guys. They like their quarterback. I think this was about driving the price up for Miami. So how much competition do the Canes honestly have? I can't tell you, but I will tell you that if they get Carson Beck, it'll cost them.
Okay, but I solved it.
Yes.
They're not getting Carson Beck. This is
Who are they getting?
This is no, Carson Beck's not coming here. Okay. I know where he's going.
Okay, where's he going?
Yeah, I solved this already. Okay, I'm way ahead here. I got the crystal ball. I worked it. Okay, Haley Cavender is going to be drafted by the Indiana Fever in the middle rounds. Second, third round. I don't know how long even the draft is for the WNBA, but she won't be a first rounder. She'll be like a second or third rounder. And so Notre Dame and Ohio State are also interested. Yeah, now you're following. See, I turned it around on those Canes fans.
Yeah.
I think that he's coming here because the Cavender twin is here, but the Cavender twin will be gone. But I know where the Cavender twin is going to be. Right there in the middle of the country, and there are two teams interested. So he's going to get the bidding war between Ohio State and Notre Dame
Right.
going. How do you like them apples now, huh? How do you like that investigative work there by me?
That was quality investigative work there. But I will counter with this. Oh, I will tell you that Notre Dame, from what I've heard, was in line to get Quinn Ewers, assuming he decides to come back. So I think that basically defaults Miami to getting Carson Beck. Again, all of this drama, all this perceived, hey, where is he going? What's going to happen? All about getting somebody to overpay for him and getting other schools to raise the price up. So I think ultimately he will end up at Miami. How much will it cost him? I don't know. But I think they're just trying to create a market. His agent is trying to create a market for him to make more money. That's all that's going on here. But I think if anything, Notre Dame will probably end up getting Quinn Ewers.
Okay, so let me ask you a domino question off of this.
Yep.
So they did recruit a highly touted kid who's sitting back there, and he's going to be a sophomore next year, right? Or redshirt freshman if he got redshirted, right?
Luke Nickel will be a true freshman stepping on campus.
Right,
Luke Nickel will be a true freshman.
Yeah, true freshman. So he's looking around, going, "Yo, what about me, bro? I don't want to just sit there. You have nobody.
Right.
You're going to get somebody else." And what about if they go get a guy that has 2 years left or something? Like, I'm just wondering how Luke Nickel's feeling about this. And is there any chance that that kid starts getting a little like, well, wait a minute, is this going to be the norm? You're not going to invest in me? Give me a chance? You know what I'm saying? Because even if you're recruiting somebody and I'm Luke Nickel, I'd like to say, well, hey, wait a minute, coach. You might be recruiting somebody, but I'd like to be in the competition to start. If he's coming in and he's just a starter and I'm not even being looked at, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just wondering, where is the Luke Nickel camp at?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think for a guy like Nickel, most of these coaches now, all of them will tell you, hey, you're not going to come in here and start day one. We're going to recruit over you. We're going to look for a transfer quarterback. It's the way all programs operate now. Quarterback is the position more so than any other in college football where you have the highest number of transfers, especially elite players, because there's only one guy who can start and who can play and be the guy. And so I think Miami was pretty honest with Luke Nickel about the situation. They were going to reevaluate where they were after Cam Ward finished his final season in college football. They were going to give Emory Williams a chance to perform. He didn't do that in the bowl game. Didn't look very good. And so it became we're going to sign you, kid, but we're also going to look to see if we get a veteran quarterback because that's the way this operates. And I can tell you from having conversations with multiple All-American quarterbacks coming out of high school the last few years, it's the understanding. They get it. They understand now that your first year, you shouldn't be on the field, that they're going to probably bring in a transfer to start over you, and it's all about your second season. And I think what you're seeing now in college football a lot is the moment that guy finishes his freshman year, if the offensive coordinator is fired, if the quarterback's coach leaves, they end up following them to whatever school they go to. So I think it's just the way the game is played now. College football is a transactional sport, more so than any other sport, and quarterbacks, it's just the way they operate.
Good shit as always. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. What do you got going on in the Athletic, my man?
Well, ton to read from last night's game. I will have more. I have my thoughts, my 8 thoughts. If you hadn't had a chance to read it yet, on the Hurricanes, where I broke down the roster and told you how many guys are actually left still here from Mario's first 2 recruiting classes. Some numbers there will probably open your eyes. And looking ahead to the 25 team, so there's something there to read in terms of the way this roster is shaping up for next year. And there will be more content. I have a new Wide Right podcast that I recorded on Wednesday. So if you want to listen to more of an in-depth breakdown, you can do that there as well.
There you go. Follow him on Twitter, Manny_Navarro. Manny, as always, my brother, appreciate you big time. Have a fantastic weekend, my friend. We'll catch up on Tuesday.
All right, brother. You take care.
Thank you, sir. There you go, the great Manny Navarro. And, of course, you got to visit our friends at the Big Cheese. Yes, Gary, Billy, great people out there. They've been at it for over 40 years. The lasagna, the baked ziti, oh, it's so good. The chicken francese, the fettuccine alfredo. the seafood pasta, the shrimp pasta. It just goes on and on and on. And all the pastas, if you want to have tomato sauce, meat sauce, Alfredo sauce, pink sauce, doesn't matter. All the pasta is shipped from Italy. It is cooked fresh daily. It's family serving, so you will walk away full. And those garlic rolls are to die for. Go check them out. 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, 305-662-6855, BigCheeseMiami.com.
You've been listening to the Big Cheese Miami Recruiting and NIL Report with Manny Navarro. At the Big Cheese Miami, they continue to purchase the same high-quality ingredients that the most expensive Italian restaurants use. The difference is they serve large portions at a family price. Visit the Big Cheese at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue in Miami. Call 305-662-6855 or go to thebigcheesemiami.com. Go Canes!
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.